There are fishtails, and then there are the bigger fishtails. But this is a story of a living legend and the man who wrote it out in Hurricane Michael.
It'd been blowing out of the east pretty good, 80, 90 knots, something like that. That was all right. But when it come around out of the northwest, after that eye pusher, boy, have you ever been in a hurricane? You can feel the pressure change in your head. It's pretty weird. At any rate, when she come around out of the northwest, then it started blowing. We had like a 6-foot sea coming across a little piece of the bay right there, and the wind was going, the rain was so hard you couldn't hardly see, but once in a while it'd clear up just a minute, and that's when it was really happening. And these floating docks over here just started, everything just started giving way and going that way, and right then's when I busted all them pilings that we were tied to, all the wooden pilings, and that's when it hit the fan. Pulled out the bits in the back of my boat. Well, you can see over there, see where it pulled the side of my boat out over here? Pulled that bit out, peeled that back, and blew me down on this floating dock in front of us, that cement floating dock. Bow! She hit real hard, and that's when punched a hole in the bow of the boat up there that I'm fixing now. Well, it was blowing. I mean, it was friggin' blowing then. Well, thank goodness I pinned to the dock right there. And me being by myself, I still had a line up here. I had her in gear and full throttle ahead and jumped off on the pier, got a line around that cement piling right over there. And then came back on the boat and got a wrap on the bit. And that saved me right there. It was blowing, Dad. It was blowing. At any rate, once I got the line on there, she was tight. I mean, tight, tight, tight. Piano string tight. And that's 1-inch line. Still had her full throttle ahead, holding into it, pushing like into the dock, and with that line, I just had to stand out here in it. And that was about an hour's worth. Soaking wet. I mean, that blowing, man, that rain felt like, you ever been out hunting and somebody pellets hit you that somebody else has shot?
Yes.
Well, it felt about 10 times worse than that. It felt like you're getting shot by buckshot.
And now that's the legendary story of Carl Roby and the Cynthia Renee. In Panama City, Florida, I'm Bryan Hughes.
It's gonna be a long time, ain't it, before this thing gets back, anyways, near normal again. It's gonna be a lot of years. Yes, sir. I was the 5th one in that first section there of 8. I was the 5th one from the water. Yeah. Yeah. My neighbors and all that, theirs was theirs. Yeah. Oh boy, then this one right here was fished with me a lot. He's a retired Baptist preacher. Me and him fished on that pier many a day. Yeah, but be a long time before we get back on that pier, won't it? Pier's edge. Yeah. I had a 5-foot lighthouse standing out in front of it. Come on at night. The light come on at night, and the had a dust stone.
That's one of the bowls.
There's that new sander up on. Yes, sir. You take my age, I don't think I'll be coming back. I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah.
In the distance, there's a beach chair right on that sand dune. As anywhere between 8 to 13 feet worth of storm surge came in, it took away buildings, many buildings that were not a part of current code. They were built back in the 60s and the 70s. Some of these buildings, as you see here, they will be occupied. They will rebuild. And as one lady told me, The city of Mexico Beach is resilient. It's a family community, and the families are going to come back, and it's going to be better.
That white one down there, had just been built. That white place there. It's made out of styrofoam blocks with rebar in them and cement poured in them. Yeah. It studied. It stayed there. It protected that hood, and that's the only reason that hood's there. It's it. Yeah, they say the swells, they said that it was 27 feet high. Yeah.
It's devastating.
How do you even start over?
Well, you're just thankful you're alive and put one foot in front of the other and keep walking. That's all you can do.
The rebuilding process, they're estimating, will take a year and a half to almost 2 years. But at that point, the folks in Mexico Beach say they want you to come visit. They'll be throwing a party. I'm Bryan Hughes in Mexico Beach.
That's it. Yeah. See this right here? That's where a 5-foot lighthouse stood right there. There's my front door right there. There's some coins that was in them drawers. Yeah, I put a bunch of coins in them. There's one right there though. I believe that other one, that.
Yeah.
I used to throw my change in my chest drawer. I don't know how much I had in there, but yeah. It was 2 bedrooms and 2 full baths. I had a full bath downstairs right there where you see that white pipe sticking up. And then there was a storage area on the second floor, and a bathroom and a bedroom on the second, story. Yeah.
You know them? Look like Bill.
That's Bill's, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. They lived across the street over there. Yep. Yes, and both of those, I laid those tiles over there. That's where the washer and dryer was over there on the right. Yeah, and that's one out of microwave. I just put, my microwave went out, and I just put a brand new one above the stove. Used it one time. Yeah, and the dryer went out, and I'd used it about twice. Yeah, put a new dryer in. Yeah.
Many areas along Florida's coastline were destroyed, and that's, to put it mildly, like a bomb went off. And here's the story of one West Texas man, a native, who lost it all.
It was probably not too long after the storm actually hit. I think it was one of the first videos that was on television, and it showed one of the blue houses that was pretty dominant in all the stations that had blown across the street. Well, that was my neighbor's house, and I don't think they'd been there more than a year. Up to code, the house we had was one of the original houses here in Mexico Beach, one of the old Parker houses. So that was on level ground. So I'm like, if they're gone, there's nothing left. When I originally asked, the gentleman across the street from us at the Gulfview Motel actually wrote it out, and he was telling, so we saw him, and he said, no, he said, I was here, I was watching it, and then your house came right at me, and he said, I think it's underneath the blue house, and I said, no, I don't think so, because it was blowing, from the northeast, so it has to be this direction, and sure enough, it was behind his building. The stuff we found fit in a Ziploc bag. I mean, it was really just remnants of stuff. I mean, I couldn't even find refrigerator, stove, washer, dryer. A friend of a friend had offered me an RV, which is right behind you, so we brought that a couple of nights ago, just so that, you get tired of staying at people's houses. I mean, everybody's been gracious and friendly, and so we still have our jobs. So that's really it, is just trying to make sure that we can get to a point where we can get back to work and not lose our jobs on top of everything else. So we'll do that first. And then eventually we'll have to get away, just get some downtime a little bit. It seems like one long day to me right now. I don't really know what day it is.
The word disaster doesn't even describe what it looks like here at Mexico Beach. But there's one thing for sure. The people who live here are resilient, and they'll be back. I'm Bryan Hughes for KMEC News. After being in Florida for many, many days, covering the stories up and down the coastline, the one thing that I've seen, and specifically here at Mexico Beach, is everyone's distraught. Everyone has emotions that boil up and sometimes take over. But they've all had this sense of, we can get back. We can go back to where we were and even be better. And I think that's what bonds all of us. We all know that we've got the spirit, we've got the heart. We can do it all. We can come together and rebuild and make it stronger and better. And even some of those houses that are quote unquote hurricane resistant, we're all going to get to that point. It's going to take time. It's going to take blood, sweat, tears, anguish, sorrow. At the same time, too, the American spirit. And that's what's here. There's a Florida spirit. There's an American spirit, because there's so many people from all over the country and around the world who are here helping out. And we'll be back to see it all in a couple of years. At Mexico Beach, Florida, I'm Bryan Hughes.
The Bonnie Mae, when the storm broke out, and then went over to help my ex-boyfriend tie his boat up, and got pushed against the bait house when the wind started getting real bad, and it let up, and I ran to the bathroom where everybody else was hiding at, and it was crazy. The guys in there was 6 guys in there holding the door shut till their knuckles turned white, taking turns, and it was pretty scary. I hit a knee for the whole time, just about. Yeah, it was scary. They'd open it every now and then and to check the water line, which got all the way up to there. You can see where the orange marker's at. That's how high the water got. So it was pretty scary. Winds were bad. Everything was flying everywhere, and you can feel the walls bowing and shaking on the inside of the bathroom even. So it was pretty scary.
So what's next for you?
I don't know. I got a job here, so here I am. I'm kind of stuck.
What's the job now?
I'm working in the store.
When do you think it'll open back up, or is it clean?
They got the electric on yesterday, and we've been cleaning out the bait boxes and the coolers and stuff like that. So, and they should be getting the water on today, so it should be open probably tomorrow.
What about going back out on those boats?
I won't be going out on that one, but as soon as I can find one to go out on, I'll definitely be going back out.